it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards. I have another paper pumpkin alternative. This is number 3. And I use quite a few different things with this one. First off, I wanted to tell you I used this Pleased as Punch paper. I used the blue side with the raindrops. And then I punched out with my punch that's got this shaped umbrella, and then this shape, and then the handle. I used this punch on this paper, and I punched out one of these for the umbrella, and then one of the handles, and then I used the back side, of course, for this. So let me tell you all my sizes. That Pleased as Punch is available until March 31st. It's the product coordination thing. So anyway, okay, I have a card base that is balmy blue. Put the card there. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to put this piece on the front, and it's 5 1/4 by 4. Almost hated covering up my little umbrellas, but I really like the way this looked with the raindrops. I thought it went really well with this this month's paper pumpkin. So if you don't have the paper pumpkin, you can still make similar cards using some of these products other than this little bunny here, because it's on the stamp set. But you could use it without the bunny, this bunny, and just make one with this bunny and maybe one of the other Fable Friends characters. You could put maybe one of the little ducks. Anyway, I used this rabbit. And then I put a lot of stuff together to make so this card wouldn't take a long time. So let me show you the inside. This is one of the pieces, one of the cards in the paper pumpkin, and then this is the inside piece, and I trimmed it down. And I probably didn't tell you on the last one, but I trimmed it down to 3.5 by 5. And the alternate number 2, I did the same thing. So this is the size. And then I trimmed this piece, which was part of the front of, or part of the card like this. I trimmed it down to 3 by 3 3/4. And I trimmed the top off, and then I trimmed the sides, because as you can see, it was a little bit longer because I shortened this piece too. So anyway, and then I took on the stamp set from Paper Pumpkin, I used the clouds. And on this card I used basic gray, but I thought, to me it was too dark. So on this one I used, let me see, what did I use? Smoky Slate. I used these 2 clouds to stamp that. And I used, excuse me, one of the punch-out rabbits that was in the paper pumpkin, one of the little hearts, and this label was in the paper pumpkin. Oh, empty. I took it out already. Silliness. Oh, and then I used this, No Matter the Weather, We're Friends Forever. And then for the inside, let me show you what I did with that. And then I'll tell you about my rabbit. I used this little image here and stamped it on each end, and then colored it with my blends. And it's dark Calypso Coral, dark So Saffron, light Balmy Blue, and light Old Olive for the leaves. This came from Around the Corner, and it's this image right here. And I stamped that, and it's Balmy Blue. And then I took Itty Bitty Birthdays and this and stamped this right here. And I did that first because this is red rubber. And then I stamped Rain or Shine, You're Always on My Mind, which is clear, a clear stamp set. I stamped that and above it. And this was stamped in basic gray. And I think that's pretty much all the stamping. And I'll tell you about the rabbit in just a minute here. So let's go ahead and put this on the inside. I've got something interesting to tell you about that rabbit. The first time, well, on that one he looks pretty good because he's nice and light. I colored his body with light smoky slate because I didn't want him to be super dark. And then I should have trimmed that, but that looks good. Then after I did that, I colored his little shirt with the light Balmy Blue, and his buttons are light Night of Navy. And then his nose and ears I used dark Petal Pink. And then what I did, and then I fussy cut him out because there's no dies for this. Okay, this is basic gray, 3 7/8 by 3 1/8, and we're just going to adhere that. I actually didn't lose this piece like I did on the last card. Found it under my desk. It fell, and of course it fell and went sliding under where I couldn't see it readily. At least I didn't step on it. Anyway, that's what happened to the piece from the last video. It went under the desk. Okay, so we're going to put that on there. And then I have a bow and my sentiment. So let's talk about this bunny. The second time I stamped him, he looked like, I colored him. I used a piece of the front of that other card that I had cut off, and he was too dark. I didn't like it, so I tried using some of the color lifter, but then he looked blotchy. So I didn't like the way he looked. So I redid it and used just Whisper White cardstock. It colored him lighter in the basic gray. And then I attached this right here with a glue dot, so it was kind of centered underneath there. And then I turned it over. Well, I put the bunny where I wanted him. And I put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And I used one to hold the ear. And then I put just a little dab of glue underneath the handle so it would stay stuck. It almost looks like he's holding on to it. So then we can I put just as many dimensionals as I thought were necessary to keep him from sagging. And I put one, I kind of covered up. I believe I put a glue dot under that ear to make sure that it stayed where I wanted it to. And then I put a dimensional over the top of it. And then you need to put him kind of off to the side so that you have room for your other little rabbit. And I put dimensionals here and then a glue dot here, so because I wanted it to stick to him, because I didn't want it lifting. So that's how I did this one. And then I kind of just put him right here, like so. So it's kind of under the umbrella. And then I took one of the hearts and put a glue dot on the back of it. And just kind of put it here, right kind of under the umbrella above this bunny. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this, just like I did on the last card. I'll try to come up with some more, but it's a real challenge to come up with things that are different than what everybody else has already done. So let's take the covers off of these. I thought if I incorporated some of the Pleased as Punched paper, it can help extend the kit. So we're going to put this so it's same amount of space at the top and the left and the right, so that it leaves some space down here for the sentiment. I believe I stamped the sentiment on this one with basic gray. And I'm just going to center that underneath this panel. Just like so. And I already tied a bow. And I'm going to take a glue dot. And I'm going to roll it around my, whatever this is, pokey tool, and put it right there on the back of that twine that where we tied the bow. I can get it to stick. Okay. And then place it right here on the corner of that. And it looks like they're too long for me, so I'm going to trim a little bit off of the ends, like so. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to take some raindrops and take your pick tool. This works really well to pick these raindrops up. You just kind of touch it and then slide it. And we're going to put those up in the clouds. One second here. Make sure I'm getting it straight, which I didn't. Well, they're hard to see, so. One right here. And over here. I usually stand up to do this because I can see better. Okay, that one's really crooked. Oops. Let's see if I can straighten that. They're so tiny. There, that looks good. And then I took a couple of these circle ones. And put them on the sentiment, just to add something to the sentiment. Just like so. Okay. I believe that card is done. So tell me what you think. He wasn't too difficult to fussy cut out, which was good. And that was the only thing really I had to fussy cut. If you don't have the punch, you can actually fussy cut these umbrellas out. I've done it and they're not that hard. So anyway, that's alternate number 3. You'll have to tell me what you think, if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Remember, you can order on my website, and $50 in purchases before shipping and tax on my website. I'll send you this as a thank you. It's the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Plus, you're still qualified for celebration until the end of March 31st, and this deal lasts until then as well. So you have a blessed day and have fun stamping.